Great to see you. Thank you for being here. So this report was published last year in Nature, which is no small thing. I mean, they're supposed to know their stuff. It suggested that by 2100, just 75 years from now, 62% of world economic output will die, will just collapse as a result of fossil fuels. Turns out the whole report hinged on Uzbekistan. If you take little Uzbekistan, little by economic importance, out of the study, that number drops to 23% from 62% of world economy. Who knew that the world economy hinged on Uzbekistan, right?
Yes, and what it tells you is you probably shouldn't do economic data in Nature. That's what we have the economics journals for. A lot of economists were already very uncomfortable with this. And what it also showed, there were several different critiques that came out over the last year that also showed it was incredibly vulnerable to assumptions. It was basically meant to give you this sense of, oh my God, things are going to collapse. But in reality, what it showed, it could go really bad. It could also actually increase global output by 132%. So it literally just told you it could be anything. We're just going to tell you something bad.
Well, meanwhile, hurricane season is over. And for the first time in a long time, maybe it's happened before in my lifetime, I don't remember, there was no direct hit on the continental U.S. by hurricane. And that should be great news. I mean, the media should be happy about it. We should all be cheering in the streets about it. But the only time you hear about it is when you read one of your pieces in the Wall Street Journal.
Well, I'm glad you read them. So, fundamentally, we are told that there's more and more hurricanes and it's more terrible because of climate change. Yeah. But every time it doesn't fit the story, we're not told anything. There's a big story in New York Times about how all the hurricanes, 12 hurricanes, had turned off the U.S., but nobody looked at whether that was because of global warming. It's a little bit akin to, do you remember back when everybody blamed Syria? Climate change was caused by, the Syrian civil war was caused by climate change. Well, you can run these studies and show, well, it actually becomes more dry in Syria. But then clearly you're not telling us that it also becomes less dry elsewhere. Maybe we should also run these studies that maybe sometimes we don't see hurricanes turn into the U.S., but away from the U.S. because of global warming. We don't hear that. We only hear the bad
No, we don't hear it. Climate change happens all the time, but sometimes it leads to good things, but you rarely hear about that. They'd rather spend our money on all kinds of climate change withdrawals. Great to see you, Bjorn. Thank you so much for being here. Bjorn Lomborg, more Kudlow right after this.